So I'm telling you, if you have just started, get out of your comfort zone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to be talking a little bit about my fitness journey, but specifically a few months ago when I did my second bulk. So we're going to talk about everything bulking, caloric surplus, and how I gained 2 inches on my glutes in I think 2 to 3 months. Which, you know, might not sound like a lot, but 2 inches is actually quite a bit to gain around your glute when you're actually doing a bulk. And I think I only did it for about 3 months, and not 100% strict because gyms closed and I had no choice but to stop my bulk. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you how to kind of go through a bulking phase if you're thinking about doing it, and if you want to get the maximum benefits out of it as well. So firstly, I calculated my calories like I always do. Whenever you're going through a new phase, you want to make sure you are calculating your calories because things would have changed, your weight would have changed, your activity level would have changed, anything like that. So make sure you recalculate your calories using an online calorie calculator or anything along those lines. So once you've established how many calories you should be eating now in a surplus. So for example, mine was I think 2,400 calories to be in a surplus. Once you've done that, definitely plan out your meals. Plan out each meal, take 2,400 calories, divide it by 3 main meals, and then have some snacks on the side as well, whether that's 2 or 3. If you're more of a eat 3 times a day kind of person, then you know your meals might be a little bit bigger in calories. That's why I strongly do recommend having some snacks in between as well, which will really help. So yeah, definitely do that. And then yeah, once you know how many calories you should be eating, create a meal plan for yourself. Make sure your protein is high and adequate. I cannot stress that enough. Whether that's in the form of a protein shake or putting protein in your porridge, or you know, make sure you're eating protein. If you can't get it from food, use protein shake. But also, you know, some great sources of protein is meat if you eat meat, egg, fish, tofu, beans, lentils, chickpeas, things like that. Obviously for a vegan and vegetarian, if you're eating things like lentils and beans and pulses, you might have to do a little bit more planning and mix and match your food sources. So quinoa and lentils is amazing. That's your full source of amino acids, so your protein, which is amazing. So you might have to mix and match a little bit, whereas if you do eat meat, you can just eat chicken and you've got all your sources of protein and amino acids. Yeah, definitely plan your meals out. Honestly, you might just have to take some time out and a few hours to actually plan how many calories, what meals you're going to be eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, 5 days a week or whatever, and make sure it roughly calculates around your caloric surplus. This is my second bulk I did, so I kind of got used to it. I knew the gist. I actually used my own online program. I've got an app, or well, it's like a dashboard. You log in, you've got your members area, and it works like an app on your phone. So I use that. It calculates everything for me, and I create myself a meal plan or program, and everything's on there. So I don't have to keep going into MyFitnessPal and tracking my calories. But I did do that before, and I still do that sometimes. I will use a weighing scale, for food, and I will weigh my food up as well. So I'll put like a bowl, like on the weighing scale, and putting my oats in there, and then just plug into MyFitnessPal how much things are really. So yeah, that's quite easy. And food weighing scales aren't that expensive. You can just get them off Amazon. I will link my Amazon store below so you can have a look at that one. And definitely invest in a good measuring scale. Some people ask whether they really need to measure food when they're on a caloric surplus, and you absolutely do need to measure food, otherwise you will have no idea how many calories you're eating. So grab yourself a scale and, you know, just weigh up your food every day. It might be a little bit long and mundane and very effortly, but I'm not asking you to do it forever. Literally only a few months. If you really stick to it and you do it for about 3 months and you are consistently tracking your calories and being in a caloric surplus, then you definitely will. You definitely will be able to, you know, gain a few inches around the booty. So yeah, that's food. Food is very important when it comes to being in a caloric surplus and growing the booty. Make sure you are eating well-balanced, healthy meals. You can easily go and have fast food and takeout and binge, because yeah, it will put you in a caloric surplus much easier than trying to do it the healthy way, but you will end up with higher stores of fat around your body. It's not good for your internal organs. You'll end up putting on a lot of fat, and you might actually gain glutes a few inches, but you don't really want to do it in that way, and that is not what I'm teaching you. It's not healthy or sustainable, so please don't do that. So moving on to fitness, what did I do in terms of my training? So nothing really changed much except for me going into the gym and being like, today Reshma, you are going to lift heavy. You're not going to be comfortable, gonna really push you, and you're going to increase your weights, whether that's at the cable, increase the pin, or add in 1 kilogram, the little ones, you know, on my barbell. You are just going to push yourself more. And I get very comfortable. I've been training for about 5 years. Progress would probably have taken less amount of time if I just got out of my comfort zone. So I'm telling you, if you have just started, get out of your comfort zone, being in a caloric surplus and being on a bulk, and if you really want to gain some inches on your booty in a few months, then you definitely need to be actively increasing your weight with your exercises. So I would say if you're quite a beginner, even myself really, I increase my weight every month, every 3 to 4 weeks, increase your weights. But then some days I'm doing an exercise and I just feel strong that day, and this is too easy. The thing is, things will change. So if I've eaten more in the day, I'll have more energy and I'll be able to lift a little bit more. So even if, you know, last week I was a little bit weaker, this week if I'm feeling stronger, then I won't be afraid to add on an extra few kilograms. So definitely increase your weight. In terms of specific exercises, I have mentioned in my previous video about the best booty building exercises, so go and check that out if you haven't already. Again, just touching on the things I talked about in that video. You want to be doing heavy hip thrusts, heavy squats, and I hate squats. I don't actually go really heavy on my squats, but I do make sure it is challenging for me. And that can be in the form of normal squats, sumo squats. I love goblet squats, feet elevated. I love deadlift, and I love using cables for things like squats and pull-throughs and anything like that really. Bulgarian split squat is really good. Lunges, stationary lunges, walking lunges, any of those. Heavy glute bridges just on the floor is similarly amazing, and I would suggest for growth to do those. All the ones I mentioned are compound exercises, apart from like the cables and the pull-throughs. If you stick to heavy squats, lunges, deadlifts, hip thrusts, those are your compounds, so you can afford to go quite heavy on those, and try and do maybe 4 sets of those around the 4 margin. I do about 5 sets of hip thrusts, so you can always do about 4 to 5 for growth. And in terms of reps, I do about 8 to 12 reps, but sometimes I increase my weight on a lot of my exercises. So my hip thrusts in particular, I will start with 5 sets. I will do a warm-up set of, this is just me personally, but just to give you an example, I will do a warm-up set of about 80 kilograms, and that's like my first set as well. My second set will probably be the same, about 10 reps. My third and fourth set will probably be, or my third set will probably be about 90, and I can do that with 10 reps as well. My fourth set might be like 95, and I can also probably do that for 9 reps. And then my fifth and final set might be like 100, and I can probably do that for about 8 reps. So the heavier you're going, you might want to drop your reps. That's usually how it works, and that's really helped me with growth, booty growth and strength a lot. So yeah, I usually do that for my hip thrusts. I do the same kind of pattern for my deadlifts as well, and squats I use the same way and just do about 4 sets really, because squats are not my most powerful lift and I just hate them, but I still do them. I do them heavy, I do about my body weight, and yeah. And then things like lunges and Bulgarian split squats, because they're unilateral exercises, they are so disgusting that I don't really heavy up on these at all. I will just use dumbbells sometimes, or we'll just start with body weight and then kind of use the same dumbbells, but I don't really increase my weights on my lunges. So another thing you can really do is do supersets as well. So this absolutely kills me, but I do hip thrusts, not when I'm doing 5 sets, but I usually do, if I'm doing 3 sets of hip thrusts, I will do a superset with then 3 sets of Bulgarian split squat, which absolutely kill me so much. So I will do like, I'll do a set of hip thrusts and then straight after go into my Bulgarian split squat and then rest and then repeat 3 times, and your booty will die. Like, I cannot even tell you. So yeah, they're my top tips on how I gained about a couple of inches on my glutes during my latest bulk, which was back in like September, October. I measured them using a measuring tape, so definitely make sure you are progressing and using progress pics or a tape. But if you are aiming to be on a caloric surplus or aiming to build a booty in a short amount of time, so around 3 months let's say, it might be a bit hard to tell via pictures. So definitely use a measuring tape and measure before you begin around like the circumference of your booty and your thighs or anything like that. So my stomach grew I think an inch or an inch and a half, which is understandable and happens, and then my legs grew by I think an inch, and then my booty grew by 2 inches. So it was a successful bulk, and I unfortunately had to stop because gyms closed and I moved back home. At least I knew it was successful because I gained a couple of inches. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm just making more shorter videos that kind of talk about a particular topic with like no BS, so hopefully you enjoyed it. Yeah, let me know if you have any other questions, but otherwise please don't forget to subscribe, and as usual, thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you in my next video.